Heard me, Billy. I want
Legal mining activities. Legal mining conducted responsibly under strict regulations unlocks myriad benefits for Taraba State. Legal mining creates much needed jobs, empowering youths and families, catalyzes infrastructure development as mining revenues help build vital schools where children learn bright futures, construct hospitals where citizens access quality healthcare, and improve roads enhancing connectivity. Therefore, a crucial clarion call resounds across Taraba, especially to our revered traditional and religious leaders who custodially lead communities and different faiths to rise magnanimously to this environmental challenge. We urgently appeal to traditional and religious leaders to sensitize their subjects diligently about the grave dangers of illegal mining, educate them on benefits of legal mining, and crucially blow the whistle courageously whenever illegal mining activities are spotted in villages, towns, or rural areas to this number 080-6608-1020. Do not be found wanting. Tarabans, let's join hands resolutely saying a loud and clear no to illegal mining while championing legal sustainable mining practices. Let us zealously protect Taraba's land, for it is truly our invaluable life. This message is brought to you by SP Jamu Emmanuel, Commander of Strike Force and Anti-Mining Activities.
You are watching News Hour on Some TV, the pulse of the nation, and the station where clarity lights the way and journalism makes an impact. Stay connected. Join the conversation on Facebook at Some TV and stream us live on YouTube at Some TV Live. Now buckle up. Here are the top stories shaking the headlines. Ibadan Convention, PDP delegates arrive amid Saraki's cancellation move. Ganduje and Governor Yusuf, airport encounter sparks hope for unity. PDP convention to hold in Ibadan, says Adamawa Governor. I am Zainab Sali Sambo. Now the news in full. Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, is abuzz with last-minute preparations for national convention of the People's Democratic Party amid a potential showdown between factional camps in the opposition party. Due to take place on Saturday and Sunday, the convention is perhaps the most controversial in the PDP's history, as a faction of the party pulled out. In the build-up to the event, the National Working Committee, led by National Chairman Umar Damagum, suspended the National Secretary, Senator Samuel Ayaun. The National Organizing Secretary, Umar Bature, and National Legal Advisor, Kamaldeen Ajibade, for 1 month for alleged anti-party activities. This was the sequel to Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja's ruling, which placed the convention on hold, citing the party's failure to abide by its own rule. The political landscape in Kano State witnessed a rare moment of conciliation on Tuesday as sitting governor Abba Kabir Yusuf and his predecessor, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, crossed paths for the first time since the heated 2023 elections. The brief yet cordial encounter, which took place at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, has been widely interpreted by party stalwarts as a sign that long-standing rivalries may be giving way to dialogue and cooperation. Speaking to our correspondent, Alasan Garba Yeresa, a senior APC chieftain and former Tinubu campaign coordinator in Kano South, he said he had long prayed for such a meeting. Adamawa State Governor and Chairman, Convention Planning Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Ahmadu Fintri, has stated that the party is heading to Ibadan for the elective convention slated for Ibadan. Fintri disclosed this in a brief interview with journalists on Thursday night. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control Southwest Zone on Thursday began the destruction of unwholesome and substandard products worth over 20 billion naira in Ibadan, Oyo State capital. The destruction took place at the Monia dump site in Ibadan. Speaking during the exercise, the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Christiana Adeyeye, said the exercise was aimed at preventing such dangerous products from re-entering the market and causing harm. Adeyeye was represented by Mrs. Florence Uba, the agency's Deputy Director, Pharmaceutical Division, Investigation and Enforcement, Apapa, Lagos. The Ogun State Police Command said that its operatives on Wednesday foiled a robbery attempt in Shagamu and impounded the operational car brought by the thieves. Following a swift and coordinated intervention by the officers attached to Sakura Division, Shagamu, the police public relations of the State Command, CSP Omolola Odutola, disclosed this in a statement made available to journalists on Wednesday. Odutola explained that at about 1:45 a.m. on Wednesday, a distress call was received through the CDC chairman of Okorede, Aram Romo, of Shagamu Ijebode Expressway, that about 5 hoodlums were attempting to forcefully gain entry into a residence within the community. She disclosed that a small intervention was immediately coordinated by operatives of Sakura Division. But on sighting the patrol team, the hoodlums fled in different directions, prompting a hot chase by the police. The Bauchi State Universal Basic Education Board has confirmed the arrest of one Umar Abubakar for allegedly stealing school desks from Yelwan Kundun Primary School in the Bauchi local government area of the state. The permanent secretary of the board, Abdulmumini Jibrin, disclosed this while addressing journalists in his office on Wednesday. According to him, the suspect was apprehended by security operatives following a report from community leaders in the area. The arrest of the suspect was made by the security agent after a report from the community leaders. The board is ready to ensure that justice prevails to serve as a deterrent to others, Jibrin said. The chairman of the Ogun State Universal Basic Education Board, Joshua Ifede, on Wednesday urged pupils across the state to prioritize their studies and avoid distractions. He urged them to build a reputable future by taking advantage of collaborative efforts aimed at boosting access to quality education in the state. He reiterated the state government's commitment to partnering with corporate organizations and public-spirited individuals further develop the education sector. Ifede stated this during the presentation of 13,500 exercise books, 750 chairs and desks, as well as 200 cartons of geisha products in Abeokuta, donated by JFE Shoji Corporation and Kawasho Food Corporation to school children across the state. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has urged the federal government to utilize the remaining 10 days of the 1-month window granted to it to holistically resolve lingering issues between both parties. This formed part of the resolutions reached at the National Executive Council meeting of ASU held at Taraba State University, Jalingo, between November 8th and 9th, and contained in a statement issued on Wednesday by the union's president, Professor Chris Piwona. The union said the warning became necessary as some government officials were undermining the negotiation process through statements that misrepresented the government's office and the status of implementation of agreements reached. ASU had on October 22nd suspended its 2-week warning strike, granting the federal government a 1-month window to meet its demand, expiring November 2022. JMG Limited, a provider of electromechanical solutions in Nigeria, has donated a 10-kilowatt solar power system to the Ketu Primary Healthcare Center in the Agboyi Ketu Local Council Development Area of Lagos State. The power system, which was unveiled on Wednesday, aims to provide the health center with 24 hours electricity. According to the group general manager of JMG Limited, Rabi Jamal, speaking at the event, Jamal noted that the donation was part of the organization's corporate social responsibility, which prioritizes the health of Nigerians and the promotion of a greener environment. Healthcare reflects our belief that reliable power is a right, not a privilege, and it is essential to life and healthcare. A dismissed exhibit keeper of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is currently standing trial over allegations of criminal breach of trust involving exhibits in his custody. The Punch has learned. The former staff identified as Kolipa Andrew, who worked at the FCC's Kaduna Zonal Directorate, is accused of stealing foreign currency and naira exhibits totaling about $11,900. Sources privy to the matter said Andrew fled after allegedly committing the theft and was later arrested in Taraba State. According to the charge sheet cited by our correspondent on Thursday, the FCC preferred 6 charges against Andrew. The Lagos State government has announced that road rehabilitation works will commence on the Lekki-Ajah corridor from Saturday, November 15, 2025, and will run through Wednesday, July 15, 2026, a period of 8 months. According to a statement signed by the Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Mr. Oluwaseun Osiemi, on Wednesday, the project aims to improve road quality and ease traffic flow along one of the state's busiest routes. The Lagos State government has announced road rehabilitation works on Lekki-Ajah corridor commencing from Saturday, 15th November 2025 to Wednesday, 15th July 2026, a period of 8 months. The statement also shared on its X read, Osiemi explained that the rehabilitation will be executed in 2 phases to minimize inconvenience for commuters and business along the corridor, with preliminary works already in progress. The Lagos State government has reaffirmed its commitment to transparent and accountable procurement practices as it begins aligning with the Nigerian Tax Act 2025. Speaking at the 2025 Lagos State Public Procurement Summit held on Wednesday at the Adeyemi Bello Auditorium alongside Ikeja, the Commissioner for Finance and Chairman, Governing Board of the Lagos State Public Procurement Agency, Abayomi Oluyomi, said the new tax framework will redefine how public institutions and vendors conduct business across the state. Oluyomi noted that the summit's theme, Understanding the Impact of the New Tax Law on the Procurement of Goods, Works, and Services, reflected Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration's drive to deepen transparency, accountability, and efficiency in the procurement process. He explained that the new tax regime requires enhanced vendor due diligence, digital compliance through e-invoicing, and closer collaboration between procurement and finance departments across all ministries, departments, and agencies. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Education and West African Examination Council to suspend the planned introduction of computer-based testing for the 2026 school examinations. The lawmakers' directive followed concerns that most schools, especially in rural areas, lack the infrastructure and manpower to support a full CB3 transition. WAEC, with backing of the federal government, had earlier announced plans to conduct 2026 May-June examination using computers, following the partial rollout of the model for private candidates in 2024. But the House urged the Education Ministry and state governments to make provision in 2026, 2027, 2028 and 2029 budgets for the recruitment of computer teachers, construction of computer halls with internet facilities, provision of standby generators and assessment of private schools' readiness before fully implementing the CBT policy in 2030. The House of Representatives may consider a bill to replace the leadership of some host community development trusts that have received funding but have yet to execute a single project more than a year after their establishment. The chairman of the House Committee on Host Communities, Dunamene Deko, disclosed this while speaking at the Bridges Project Host Community Development Trust Stakeholders Dialogue Forum held on Thursday at Ikodekpene local government area of Akwa Ibom State. The two-day closeout forum themed 4 years of the peer, lessons, gains, and the path forward for Host Community Development Trust was organized by the Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta in collaboration with the Ford Foundation. Launched in 2023, the Bridges Project has served as a platform for dialogue and collaborations among regulators, settlers, and host communities. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has set January 5th, 2026 as the deadline for all digital lending platforms and intermediaries in Nigeria to fully comply with its new consumer lending regulations. The move, announced in a statement on Thursday by the Commissioner's Director of Corporate Affairs, Ondaje Ijagu, marks a major step in the federal government's effort to rein in unethical practices that has plagued the fast-growing digital lending industry. The directive follows the introduction of the regulations which took effect on July 21, 2025, under the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018. It seeks to promote fairness, transparency, and accountability across the country's lending ecosystem. We are stepping into a brief commercial break. Stay with us. The most captivating stories are just moments away.
Ubangiji ya albarkaci jihar Taraba da walataccen ƙasar noma ga kuma ɗimbin albarkatun ƙasa bila adadin. Sai dai irin waɗannan dukkanin abinda Ubangiji ya samar domin samar da kyakkyawar fata ga jihar ta Taraba, ana samun wasu munanan ɗabi'u na sare dazuzzuka da tone-tonen ramumuka domin ɗebo albarkatun ƙasan da hakan ke matukar barazana ga muhalli da kuma al'ummar da cikin Taraba da ma dabbobi da suke cikinta. Wannan ko na iya lalata dukkan wani tsari ko dabaru da aka samar domin kyautata rayuwar bil'adama da mara dabbobi. Wannan illar na dada tozartawa da kuma lalata dukkanin wurare da ake da su, ga lalata ruwa da muhalli da ke zama barazana ga rayuwar dabbobi na cikin ruwa da kuma na tudu da ma jama'a da ke kan wannan. Hakan na iya zama kuma wani abin da ke iya lalata kyakkyawar fata da ake da ita na kyautata rayuwar al'umma musamman da yara da ma dabbobi. A irin wannan ne gwamnatin jihar Taraba gargashin Dr. Abu Kefo ta samar da wata wani kwamiti mai karfin fada da doka ta baiwa dama ya tabbatar da cewa ya takaita ayyukan saran dazuzzuka da tone-tonen albarkatun ƙasa ba bisa ka'ida ba. Bisa wannan ne kuma wannan kwamiti ya tashi haikan domin tabbatar da an bi doka da aka zayyana na tabbatar da kare dazuzzuka da sauran albarkatun ƙasa da ubangiji albarkaci wannan jiha da ita domin samarwa matasa da kuma iyalai aikin yi idan aka bi ka'ida wurin bin matakai da za su dace da yadda ake tono albarkacin ƙasa da kuma sare dazuzzuka a bisa ka'ida wanda hakan zai iya taimakawa ci gaba da kuma bunƙasa rayuwar jama'a da kuma fitar da Tarabar a idon duniya. A bisa wannan ake yin kira ta musamman ga al'ummar jihar Taraba da su tabbatar da cewa sun bi tsari da dabaru da aka tanadar. Ana kuma kira da amfani da sarakunan gargajiya da maluman addini da sauran jagororin al'umma da suke da alhakin kula da irin waɗannan al'ummomi da kuma ke zama tare da tabbatar da sun sanya ido sosai sosai wurin ganin an kawar da dukkan wani kalubale da muhalli ke fuskanta. Ana kuma kira nan take ga sarakunan gargajiya da maluma na addini da su waro al'umma kai, musamman waɗanda suke jagoranta, domin nuna musu matukar illa da waɗannan sare-saren dazuzzuka da tono albarkatun ƙasa ba bisa ƙa'ida ba suke yi, kuma su ilmantar da jama'a domin amfanin su wadda mara misaltuwa ne. Ana kuma karfafa musu gwiwa da cewa duk lokacin da suka ga wani aiki da ya shafi irin wannan mummunan aiki, da su handarsta samar da hukumomi ta yin amfani da wannan layi 0806681020. Yan Taraba a haɗa hannu tare domin tabbatar da an tsirar da jihar, kuma an kawar da tsarin na tono albarkatun ƙasa da sare-saren dazuzzuka ba bisa ƙa'ida ba, domin ɗorewar ci gaban jihar Taraban da kuma samar da albarkatunta da moriyarta ga dukkanin al'umma. Wannan sako ne da ya fito daga hukumar nan da take sanya ido da hana sare dazuzzuka ba bisa ƙa'ida ba.
Glad to have you still with us. The Nigerian Mainstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has stated that the proposed implementation of the 15% of Valorem import duty on imported premium motor spirit and diesel is no longer in view. According to a statement posted on its X handle on Thursday, the Director, Public Affairs Department, NMDPRA, George Enyeita said it should also be noted that the implementation of the 15% ad valorem import duty on imported premium motor spirit and diesel is no longer in view. Punch Online had reported that President Bola Tinubu approved the introduction of a 15% ad valorem import duty on petrol and diesel imports into Nigeria. NMDPRA also assured all that there is an adequate supply of petroleum products in the country within the acceptable national sufficiency threshold during this peak demand period. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, has dismissed claims that Nigeria violates religious freedom, describing them as false and damaging to the country's image. Speaking at the 5th National Advertising Conference held on Thursday in Abuja, Idris said, such claims distort the reality of Nigeria's diversity. Distinguished participants, our nation today faces challenges that are not only economic or security related, but also communicational. One of the gravest of these is the deliberate spread of misinformation, particularly the false and damaging narrative of Nigeria as a violator of religious freedom. That brings us to the close of this edition of News Hour on Some TV. Follow us on Facebook at Some TV and subscribe on YouTube at Some TV Live for breaking news, in-depth reports, and expert analysis. I am Zainab Salih Sambo. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep watching Some TV.
In today's digital age, staying ahead of the curve is crucial for success. Taraba Business School is committed to empowering the next generation of leaders